Hi again, we're back to our study of joy in the quarantine, the letter of Philippians, a perfect letter to be reading during a quarantine. This is one of the last ones. We're in the last section of verses here, chapter 4, verses 10 and 11 we'll take today. We'll take them together because Paul is talking about how he has managed during a rough time. Remember, he was in jail during this. So when he's sitting there and he's writing this letter to the Philippians, he's talking to them about some of the things that they sent to him in the care of Epaphroditus, a man who carried some gifts to him in jail there, and then was going to carry this letter that was copied and copied and copied and read to other churches, and finally we're reading it here today. So this is Paul's saying thank you here at the end of this letter to them, but also encouraging them a bit, because he's speaking from some personal experience about how to make it through when the situation is not ideal. Verse 10. He says, "I rejoiced greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I'm not saying this because I'm in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances." And he'll keep going on in the next verses, so keep tuning into those, because each of them is valuable and will be a good reminder as we go through this week. What Paul is talking about is the difference between, oh, I hope things are going well for you, and I will do something to make your life a little more comfortable, or to show a little concern, to show that concern that I feel. And they did that. They had sent some, like a care package along with Epaphroditus. Maybe there was an offering that supported him and allowed him to buy some food here and there. Maybe there were some warmer clothes. Maybe there was some more ink and paper that he could bring to him. These kind of care package items that this church took it on themselves to gather and collect and send entrusted to this man, and drop it off with Paul. And so here he is saying, I know I had heard for a long time that you guys were concerned about me, but kind of lots of people were concerned about me. You guys went that next step and did something out of that concern, did something loving and appreciated and beautiful. And so he's kind of thanking them for taking that as an opportunity, he says, an opportunity to show it. Maybe that's an overused word, but he's putting it out there that they saw a chance to do something very nice and very helpful, and they did it, rather than let that situation go by without doing anything. So he doesn't want them to get the wrong impression either, though. He's not saying he's got it the worst out of anybody. He's not saying this as like, oh, I need you to send me some more things like that because that was really helpful, and lay the guilt trip on them. Not at all. He's saying, don't think about it like that. He's sitting in jail, kind of dependent on others for everything. But he's still saying, I'm not saying that because I'm in need. And he says, I've learned something. As I studied the Word, as I heard what Jesus has said, as I've read how God fulfills what he did in the past, I've learned what? To be content, whatever the circumstances. What he wrote to Timothy in 1 Timothy chapter 6 is also important. If you want another verse to kind of compare with this one, you've heard that teaching about contentment before. Go also read 1 Timothy chapter 6, where he talks about the traps of everything else that could be offered to you, and you fall into it and you get stuck because you weren't content. Paul says, I've learned to be content. Maybe he wasn't at some point, and he was learning it at some point, but now he feels pretty comfortable saying, I have learned to be content. Not all of us maybe are at the same level of maturity. It's not like a better Christian or worse Christian. It's just some people can say a little more easily, it is well with my soul, and I'm thankful and I'm appreciative for the things that I have, that the Lord has given me, and he's chosen me not to give me some other things, and I'm going to be okay with that. That takes faith. It takes trust that God is actually looking out for you. Whatever the circumstances, no matter how bad his isolation got or his imprisonment got, I'm content because I know I have the most important things. I know I have a Savior who loves me. I have a family of faith who's supporting me. What more could I ask for? Anything else beyond that comes as just icing on the cake. And so He's learned that, and he's letting that be an encouragement for the Philippians and an encouragement for you too today. Maybe this is a good learning opportunity to put it as a mild and gentle and kind of nice sounding thing. It is an opportunity to grow and to learn to be content. That's not just something you get just by suffering. People suffer and they get miserable and they despair. But when you learn about Jesus while you're suffering, then you learn to be content. So keep on going. Keep studying Jesus. Keep hearing his word and feeding your faith in worship and in these Bible studies throughout this, and learn to be content, whatever the circumstances may be today, or a week from now, or a month from now, or a year from now. Be content, whatever the circumstances, because you have Jesus, and he's enough. Have a great day. God keep you safe. We'll be back next time.